happening? This is the Blue Review. Okay, let's check out what people have to say. We're going to get into the pen. We're going to get into Julio Urias. We're going to get into Cody Bellinger. But I want to read what you guys have to say. All right, that was extremely frustrating, and I'm at a point now where I need to figure out what to do on Wednesdays. Whoa, that's a weird little thing going on with my camera here. I think hopefully everything's right on Instagram there. It looks odd on my phone, but maybe it's just me. Anyways, welcome to the Blue Review. I am Greg Bergman, at Bergman Greg on Twitter, at Bergman Greg on Instagram. Thank you very much for being with me, and I'm sorry that you had to deal with the same thing that I just had to deal with. That game started at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It is now 9:53. That was almost a 5-hour game, and I don't know what to say about Kenley Jansen right now. I have a lot to say about Kenley Jansen, and I know you guys are all going to lose your damn minds about Kenley Jansen, but I need to just get this first thing out, that I asked Rick Krajewski about this because this happens every Wednesday. Every single Wednesday, I seem to go to extra innings because Kenley Jansen blows a save. And I thought to myself, all right, I was so positive about him this afternoon, saying, I'm going to be the optimist. I'm going to be the guy that says, like, oh, look at him. He's trying to figure it out. If this is the Kenley we're going to get in October, then watch out, everybody. Woo! Kenley! And then he does this to me. And I should have gotten these stats beforehand, because I asked Rick Krajewski about him, and Rick said to me that Kenley, on Wednesdays, I know this is a weird inside stat, Kenley, on Wednesdays, which are Blue Review days, has a record. He has 4 earned runs allowed in 9 innings pitched, and he's 3 of 6 in save opportunities, of which he is now 0 for his last 3. At some point, I gotta think that it's me. I mean, can it be me? Is it me? Am I the one? Is this why these things are happening? Because Rick Krajewski is telling me that he's blown the last 3 saves on a Wednesday. It's not happening on Tuesday and Thursday. It's happening on Wednesday, the day that I have Blue Review, the day that I'm all ready to come in here and be like, all right, yeah, Kenley's going to be better. All right, we got our old Kenley back and all this great stuff. And he does me like this. Why? Why, Kenley? Why do you do this to me? It's so frustrating. And it's always games that go long and they start early. Oh, okay. All right. Let's all just calm down for a moment. No, it's obviously Wednesday's fault. Brian Park 8 is letting me know that it's Wednesday's fault. I totally agree with you. Thank you. Let's see. Shanky, such a frustrating loss. Kenley is killing us. Our bullpen is Josh Spores, who we traded Yordan for. No, that was Josh Fields that we traded Yordan Alvarez for. So totally different guy. Apparently, people are saying, what's up, Frank? Frank Talk is in here. Thank you very much for being here. Bergman, the Kenley stopper. Apparently that's who I am from BI14 Goat. Janice Day Off says, change the Blue Review to another day. Wednesday works so well, though. It's such a perfect day to do it for me because it's like in the middle of the week. I'm, still got enough energy from the week to come in here and sit here. And then I still got enough time to get to my weekend. I'm not changing it. Apparently, see, O'Seal Jr. is saying, you're the problem, Bergman. I thought so. Apparently, I am the problem. Phil Down, what's up, Phil? Says, everyone is mad at Kenley, but Will Smith didn't frame the pitch correctly. We should have held it firm. That is all differently part of of it. However, Kenley Jansen is still the one giving up the hits. He's still the one that's missing his locations. Yes, that should have been a strikeout. It wasn't. A lot of times you got to just kind of roll with that and come back with another good pitch. And instead, he came back with a pitch that came out with a hit. So it's very interesting. Dodgers are experimenting. Yes, from Frank Talk LA. It is. The Dodgers are. I am positive. It's very difficult to be that way sometimes, but that's just how it has to be. Alex Prudencia 1. If Jansen opts out this offseason, let him walk, in my opinion. Kenley Jansen is owed a lot of money. There's zero chance that he's walking. It's just not going to happen. Caustic 187, Jansen gets shook by runners and umps. I mean, when there's guys on bases, most pitchers tend to get that way, where they're thinking about the guys behind them. Umpires have been just garbage throughout for both teams. It's not just for one. Anyway, Dodger Rebel. Oh, I like the way this starts. Dodger Rebel. On a positive note, Bellinger's swing is looking better. Yes, Bellinger's swing is looking better. And there was a fantastic stat from Joe Davis today that there has been 4 times that Cody Bellinger has had a 12-game streak of no home runs. Without fail, 13th day, always hits a home run whenever he goes through these long stretches. Today was that 13th day, so Cody Bellinger did hit a home run on the 13th day again. Joe Davis is a genius, is basically what we're trying to find out here. Anyway, back to Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen had in his last 3 outings and all of September, he'd only given up 1 earned run in all of September, and he had been clean for most of his outings too. For the last 3 outings, I'm going to cherry pick these last 3. Sorry for that. I'm going to cherry pick these last 3. He had not given up a hit. He had not given up a walk. He had been the good Kenley Jansen. That was the Kenley Jansen that we wanted to see, that we were looking for. That having clean outings and showing that he can be that guy. I believe that it's still there, and maybe it's the ponytail, maybe it's not. I don't know. I love the fact that he is that much better with the ponytail, so hopefully that's the situation. But even so, tonight was a fallback, and this was a situation where the bad Kenley, the Kenley that you don't want to see, and the Kenley that honestly, the one that we've been seeing is going to be put into different situations. He's not going to be the closer every single night. They were trying to hold him off and not be having these back-to-back days, especially after he just had a 4-out save the night before. Coming back, I understand they're experimenting, and you want to see, okay, he had the 4-out save. Can he come back the next night and get another save again? Obviously, that wasn't the situation. So, and again, he came in the 8th inning last night. He came in the 8th inning on Sunday, and he had a clean outing on a 2-2 tie game. He got the win in that game. He didn't even come out for the save. Who was it? Adam Kolarek came out and got one guy out, and then Kenta Maeda got the save. So they're trying things out. There's a lot of experimenting happening. Everything is kind of going in a different direction. Like you're seeing guys, you don't see openers all the time. Tony Gonsolin was supposed to start, and instead they went with Casey Sadler. Sadler gave up a run. He only made it through 2 batters, and then Gonsolin came in way later in the game and gave up a couple runs himself. So they're trying things out. They're seeing who fits into what role and where they're going to go and all these kind of things. So what that means, I don't know. Maybe that means that they're not going fully for the best record in Major League Baseball. I thought they had it. This would have tied them. This would have tied them with the Yankees. The Yankees lost to the Angels tonight. The Angels helped us out and they lost. And instead, the Dodgers end up losing, and now they're still 1 game back of the Yankees. And because Houston won, now you're 2 back of Houston, so that and they, instead of having a 6-game lead over the Braves, you are back down to a 5-game lead. There's a whole bunch of little things that could have happened because of this loss, but it looks like they're just going to be the way that it is, and they're going to be just going for a home field throughout the playoffs. Because I don't think Atlanta's catching them up. With 9 games left and a 5-game lead, I don't think that's going to happen. Bob Bowman 66 says 96 miles per hour on Tuesday, 91 miles per hour on Wednesday. When he has those seconds, he was also, but I mean, it depends on the pitches that he was throwing too, because last night he was throwing plenty of pitches at 91 miles an hour, 93 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. It really just depends on the pitches. What I like that I'm seeing out of Kenley, and I didn't really pay attention to it today, and hopefully somebody else did, but what I really like seeing out of Kenley yesterday was that he was using the 4-seam fastball. He was using the slider, and he was using the cutter. He was keeping guys off balance. He was using different pitches to make it so that guys are not just sitting there waiting for that cutter. And because especially when it's only getting up to 91, 93 miles an hour, 92 miles an hour, and guys are just sitting and waiting, and they can catch up to it much easier and see the ball better. When it's back up into that 93, 94, 95 range, but the ball is still cutting, or he's using a slider and it's going back down to the 89, or he's using the 4-seam fastball and that's where you get up to that 96, that's when those things start changing. It's nice to see that's what's happening. A little bit different. Obviously didn't get what he was looking for tonight. Danny Boy 1911 on Instagram. We are never winning a World Series with Kenley or Roberts, period. That's a defeatist attitude, and I can't be that guy. I'm never going to be that guy. Kenley, first of all, Dave Roberts has made it to the postseason 4 years in a row, or 4 or 5 years in a row. He's made it to the World Series 2 years in a row. He went in his 3 years. He went to the NLCS, the World Series, and the World Series. I'm sorry, and he just won. He's won the division 4 years in a row. Those are all real things. So to say that he's not going to win with Roberts, it takes a little while. Look, I know this isn't exactly what you want to hear right now, and I don't really like spitting it out very much right now, but sometimes it takes a little while to win the big one. Coach K lost, I think, 4 or 5 times before he won, 4 or 5 times in the Final Four before he won a national championship. Those things happen sometimes. It takes a little bit of time. I think this is the year. This is the year. I still believe it. I think we're all in the same place here. But let's try and move a little bit off of Kenley Jansen for just a moment. You have other things you want to talk about outside of Kenley Jansen. So this kind of goes with Kenley, but Esco 1310, Baez for closer, lower ERA, lower WHIP with a more innings pitched. Different situations, and I need people to understand this. When it comes to a closer, it's a different mindset. And for some guys, and maybe Pedro can come out there and be killer in the 9th inning and be the guy that we want. We've seen Pedro Baez be a gas can so many times that I don't know. I mean, can he handle having that 9th inning? Maybe he can now, but Joe Kelly gave up a run today. There's a lot of things that are happening. Even though it didn't get to him, he gave up the hit that scored the run. So it didn't get credited to him, but he's still giving it up. S. Neri, we really needed to win tonight in order to even have a shot at getting the home field advantage all the way in the postseason. I think it was important. I don't think it was win or lose. I think there's still a possibility at it. It makes it much tougher because now you're 2 games back of the Astros and 1 game back still of the Yankees. So yes, that is a big deal. It did make it a lot tougher. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility yet, but it is make it a lot tougher down the stretch. When is JT going to be back? Julian 103522. I don't know when he is going to be back. They're hoping that he's going to be back soon. He did run in a straight line today, so he is testing out that ankle, and he's hoping to try and be back sooner rather than later. I almost guarantee he'll be back for the postseason. I mean, I can't guarantee it. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's actually happening, but I just feel like he's just kind of holding off for right now. Now with Justin Turner, hopefully he's a guy that comes back. And if you want, here comes a shameless plug. Shameless plug alert. Hold on, so just be there. This Friday, do you want to meet Justin Turner? Go to Santa Monica, the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica at the T-Mobile store. I am actually going to be there. I'm going to be at the Santa Monica 3rd Street T-Mobile store, and I'm going to be sitting with Justin Turner, interviewing Justin Turner, and he's going to be there to meet with fans. It's a meet and greet type situation. Go to the T-Mobile store in Santa Monica and make sure to be down there. I will be down there and giving away cool prizes from ESPN LA and all other things, and maybe tickets. There might not be tickets. Maybe. Go down to T-Mobile store on Friday, Santa Monica, 10:30 to 12:30. I'll be down there 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Go down there, meet Justin Turner. Very cool thing to do. Are you going to sign autographs, Reg? I don't think anybody wants this autograph, but you will want Justin Turner's, and he will be. John Isles on YouTube. Don't forget, Lasorda lost his first 2 World Series appearances in 1978 and 1979 before winning it all in 1981. These things happen. It takes a little bit while sometimes. Revlo1, forget JT. You're the one we want to see, Greg. Yeah, you're lying to yourself, but I appreciate what you're trying to say there. So thank you very much for that. Chase Aguirre, what's up, Chase? I'm on my last break. Sorry I couldn't hype, but as always, glad to be listening. Thank you very much, Chase. And by the way, Devon Johnson stepped up big and is hype manning for me tonight. Thank you. It's late. He's in Houston. He's not a Houston Astros fan. Don't kill him. But he is a Dodger fan. But he is in Houston and he's hype manning. That means for me, it's midnight and he is hype manning for me in Houston. So thank you, Devon Johnson. I appreciate you. And Chase, thank you as always for all the other times as well. Alvin Severance. At least we're not having a Vasquez what do we do now convo. Wonder if they had intel on that. You know, I wonder about that too, Alvin. I don't think that they were this crazy, mind-boggling thing where they knew that he was having some relations with a 13-year-old, because that would be intense. First of all, when it comes to Felipe Vasquez, let me say right off the bat, That is a very disgusting and disturbing act, and it's a problem, and he should never see a baseball field ever again. I don't care. Don't come at me with, oh, maybe other guys have done it, whatever, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. He should never, ever see a baseball field. The only thing that he should see is bars, because he should be in jail. You do not touch a 13-year-old girl, period, or boy, doesn't matter. You do not touch children. They are minors. This is disgusting. Go find something else to do, not 13-year-old kids. It's disgusting, and stop it. Your career, over. Dodger Rebel, yes, done. R3N30, Dodgers aren't doing anything with that bullpen. Look, the bullpen has actually been much better. And if you look at the guys that if you're gonna piggyback onto the guys that you want, like Yimi Garcia, that's not the guy. I get Kenley Jansen has been a problem, but the ones that have been, like Joe Kelly has been good. Pedro Baez has been good. Then you're going to have guys like Ross Stripling and Kenta Maeda in the bullpen. Probably Tony Gonsolin, who had a little bit of a rough outing tonight, but he's still going to be a big part of this bullpen, and I think he's going to be a good part of this bullpen. And then all the other guys that you have in the pen. I mean, Adam Kolarek has done exactly what you're looking for in an absolute loogie. He is a guy that is going to come in just to get out left-handed batters. So, and he does it at a very, very high clip. So those types of guys in the bullpen, you can't just choose the one guys that you're looking for. I think that the other guys like are going to be there anyway, that are going to be the ones that you really want. The Kenley Jansen, hopefully in other situations where he's better. Joe Kelly, Baez, Maeda, Dustin May, maybe. Urias is going to be in the bullpen. He pitched on back-to-back days today for the first time in the regular season in his career. That is an experiment. That's an experiment the Dodgers are doing to try and get them to understand, can I use Julio Urias on back-to-back days for an inning? And guess what? The answer is yes. Yes, they can. He pitched on back-to-back days, and he was good throughout it. So that's what's going to happen. But the other guys are going to get opportunities in late-game situations. You're going to see Kenley Jansen put in when they think that he is needed. All right, before I get into more of your questions, I just got to do a quick little promo here for Bleed Los. This hat, Los Angeles versus the world, and this butane shirt for Walker Buehler. These shirts and this hat is all from Bleed Los, at Bleed Los on Instagram, at Bleed Los on Twitter, and you can go on there, go check it out. Now is the time. Now is the time to rock your Dodger gear. If you're going to rock Dodger gear, go to Bleed Los and get this stuff. This stuff is killer. It's soft. It's comfortable. I wear it all the time. I have the Los Angeles versus the world hat, which I meant to wear a different one anyway today, but I have other ones that say LA Bleeds Blue, Los Angeles Sangra Azul. I got all these cool hats from them. It's all there on the website. Butane, Belly Bomb, all these cool ones. So go there. Go to Bleed Los, BLEEDLOS on Instagram and on Twitter, and make sure to go find all that stuff and rock the Dodger gear. Now is the time. Now is the time. All right, so back to CMAX Corp on Instagram. Can Jansen be a catcher again? No, he cannot be a catcher. And let's get this all straight. He's not changing positions. He's not being left off the roster. None of those things are happening. So as much as you're frustrated with him and as much as you're not happy with what he's been doing recently, and especially on Wednesdays where he's now 0 for his last 3 in save opportunities because it's the Blue Review and that's when that happens. But he's not being off of this roster. He will be there. Maybe he comes in the 8th inning, just like he did on Sunday against a Mets team that was fighting for their playoff lives. And this, by the way, is a Tampa Bay Rays team that is also fighting for their lives. They are trying to they're trying to get into the wild card. They're right there, 90-63, fighting with the Cleveland Indians at 89-63 and the Oakland A's at 92-61. This is a close race. It's tight. They are fighting for their lives. So to lose to the Rays after beating them last night, it's not the end of the world. That is a good team. Unfortunately, it just happened to be that Jansen blew it when they had it. It's recently, bro. Last few years, no 8th inning. It's Joey 2 times. He's gonna. By the way, great name, Joey 2 times. I like that. But yeah, it has been the last few years. He's going to come in situations. It could be the 6th inning. It could be the 7th inning. It could be the 9th inning, and they need it because that's the guys that they want. This is where you're going to see Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen is going to be in the situation that we want. Bring back Brazoban. Yency Brazoban. God, I haven't heard that name in forever. Let's see. Choice fielder. Urias better than Madsen. Of course. I don't even know why we're talking about Madsen. I must have missed something that we're talking about Ryan Madsen. Nope. No, we're not bringing back Ryan Madsen in any form or fashion. Thank you very much for that. That kicker, Ed. Kenley will blow another World Series. I mean, I don't know. If you want to believe that, go right ahead. I don't mind the bullpen experimentation if it means it will help us in the postseason. Oh, there we go. Lolo the Hut. Thank you very much for having a positive spin on this. Yes, that's what's happening. Look, they used 9. Was it 9 pitchers tonight, or was it 10? It was either 9 or 10 pitchers tonight that they used. I think it was 9 because Spores never left the game. But yeah, 9 pitchers. That doesn't happen. They're not going to be doing that. Casey Sadler not making the postseason roster. Yimi Garcia not making the postseason roster. Dylan Floro's fighting for a spot in the postseason roster. Urias was clean. Gonsolin had a rough outing. Yimi Garcia not making it. Joe Kelly will be there. He did give up a hit, which gave Garcia a run. Dustin May possibly going to be there. He had 2 innings tonight, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. Maybe he comes in at that point and is there too. It's a very interesting spot. They're auditioning people all right now, but Josh Spores not going to be there. John Isles, good point, Greg. Tonight's loss stung, but the pain would have been much more painful if the same outcome resulted against a cellar-dwelling team. Yes, these teams are fighting to be in the playoffs, and the Rays still have to play the Yankees. They're fighting. Hopefully there are no Wednesday playoff games from I retweet like crazy. Yeah, I hope so too. Choice fielder. Urias better than Madsen. Yeah, we got past that. Kolarek better than Alexander. Yes, Alexander has been a problem, and he's not coming back anyway. Let's see. I got Phil down. How long do we stick with Will Smith? He isn't producing at the plate, and he isn't calling good games. This is a very good, solid question. Now, Will Smith has been bad recently. I don't know how to sugarcoat it. I was trying to figure out a way to say it in a nice way, and he has just been bad all the way around, to the point where I think Brian Kamenetsky was saying it on the Mason Ireland show during Purgatory today, that his OPS, Will Smith's OPS, that's on base plus slugging, is around like 250. He's that bad right now. He just has lost it. But what I've seen from Will Smith is that he's getting underneath pitches. He's just missing home runs. He did get on base today, but it was off of an error because it bounced off Avisail's Garcia's glove, and they ended up scoring a run off of it. But still, he's been a problem. They're hoping that he can get out of it so that he can be hot again. Because look, same thing happened with Cody Bellinger. But Cody Bellinger went up and goes up and down. He did it last year where they go up and down, and you just gotta kind of stick with these guys to hope that they figure it out. He doesn't have a lot of time to figure it out. Austin Barnes is here. Russell Martin is here. Both those guys are going to get more opportunities, but Will Smith, they're playing him game in, game out because they want to see that he can get through these, okay? That's what it wants to be. They want to make sure that he can get through this and get out of his slump and start hitting home runs and start getting on base and being Will Smith that we saw earlier in the year. Young guy in his head, maybe he's not ready. And if so, then you do have Russell Martin and Austin Barnes, who have playoff experience. Austin Barnes has been in the playoffs the last 2 years and actually was one of the better hitters throughout the postseason those last 2 years. I know you're saying not Barnes, but Barnes has been hitting the ball well. Credence 208, his timing is whack like Belly. Sometimes you're trying to figure things out in September. And so many times, teams that are bad in September end up being great in October, or they end up being great in September and terrible in October. Things change. It's a crazy game of baseball. We can't take every game at face value. It needs to be, you have to take it at every game at face value. Maybe AZN Sean. May and Gonsolin should be guaranteed a postseason spot. I don't know if both are going to get the postseason spot because Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin are both right-handed pitchers that can go deep, and they both kind of do the same thing. If I personally had a choice right now, I would go with Tony Gonsolin. I think he's been the better pitcher of the two. So you have a choice. It's in a situation where you're not sure, but both guys could make the postseason roster, and both guys could easily be knocked off of the postseason roster. So let's do this real fast. I don't like counting, with you guys, but we'll do it anyway because I think it's important. Let's go through the rotation and just who are you going to take off of the postseason roster? You guys tell me. I want to know what you guys think too. So Kershaw, and don't say Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen is not coming off the postseason roster, okay? Clayton Kershaw, Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Walker Buehler locked. Locked and loaded. Those 3 are in. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Rich Hill. He's supposed to pitch to live batters tomorrow, just to teammates tomorrow, and then he's supposed to pitch in relief on Tuesday, starting next week. So let's see what actually happens with him. But that's 3. Rich Hill kind of on the bubble. They're only going to hold 12. Kenley Jansen is 4. Joe Kelly is 5. Pedro Baez is 6. Kenta Maeda is 7. Julio Urias is 8. Adam Kolarek is 9. Ross Stripling is 10. They've already said that. And then you have to choose for 2 guys between Rich Hill, Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, Dylan Floro, and even kind of Caleb Ferguson, but I don't think it's going to be Caleb Ferguson. So who are we kicking off of that, and who are we keeping? Most likely Rich Hill, I would assume, if he's okay. Rich Hill is okay, Rich Hill is going to make the postseason roster. It's just going to happen, especially if he's pitching out of the bullpen. Having a lefty like that out of the bullpen, when you're going from guys throwing 96, 97 miles an hour to then all of a sudden throwing these crazy curveballs that are coming in at 89 and then 79 and then 75 and then his fastball's coming in at 89. He's all over the place. So who's it going to be there? So if Hill is ready, he'll be in. If not, it comes down to those guys. It comes down to Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, and Dylan Floro. So that's 4 guys for 2 spots. So Floro, okay, Charlie, don't keep Floro. Dylan Floro was good tonight. You actually got good Dylan Floro tonight. He only gave up 1 hit. He had 2 strikeouts. He's been good, and he was good last year. He's been good for most of the year. Floro flames out. No thanks. Caustic at 187. Okay, so we can take that off. You're still between Hill, May, and Gonsolin. So if Hill doesn't make it on, then most likely it's going to be May and Gonsolin that makes in. However, remember, these are young guys. They're not fully ready always. So those are the guys that we're going to be looking at. Gonsolin and Hill from Dat Dude Carlos 14. Very possibly. Terry Failtoy. What's up, Greg? What's up, man? How are you? Let me see. I have not looked over at Facebook today, so I want to make sure I get some of these in because I know people are on there. Jonathan Watson, Jensen, I didn't have it today. I sucked. That's what he said. Okay, good. At least he's owning it this time. Ruben Moreno, who was touching oh yeah, we're not going back into that. Felipe Vasquez, Ruben Moreno. Jermaine Armento, where can I get that Los Angeles vs. the World hat? Bleed Los. Bleed Los is where you find these things. Credence 208 is saying Floro and Gonsolin. See, this is where it's happening here. You got people saying no Floro, yes Floro. Yes Gonsolin, no Gonsolin. Yes May, no May. Yes Hill, no Hill. See, this is why we trust in Andrew Friedman. We trust in Andrew Friedman because he tends to make the correct decision. And I believe in what he's going to do. Cameron M13, interest in Lindor, bets Bryant, particularly if Friedman were to hypothetically leave. I don't know why Friedman would leave at this point. He's gone to the World Series 2 years in a row, and he's probably going to go, and most likely, hopefully, fingers crossed or whatever, hopefully going to make it to the World Series again. I don't see why he would leave. That'd be crazy. No, really, come on. So no pitching Wednesdays. No one ever on second base. Must be up by 6 runs. Must be nice. Got it. Yeah, I mean, that's all crazy stuff. That's not how it works. CMRNRDDL, Kenley Jansen has no business being on the playoff roster. I understand the upsetness. I understand being upset, but he is on the postseason roster, and because of him, whether or not we want to believe it or not, he is going to have a large impact in the postseason. Whether you're comfortable or I'm comfortable, if Andrew Friedman is comfortable, that's what's going to happen. The real Brian G323, greetings from Downey, California. What's up? Glad to hear you from Downey. Appreciate that. Yes, Floro and Hill from Ryan D. Montez. It's Joey 2 times. LOL, really? Madison was especially bad decision. Madsen was actually really good against the Atlanta Braves, which understood he was always good against the NL East, that's why they even had him on there. And then he was bad. Then he was bad against the Brewers, and then he was bad again in the World Series, and he was bad in all those situations. Fine, he was bad, but those were the decisions that he got made to be put onto that roster was because he was great. He was really good against Atlanta, and then Atlanta because he was so good, they kept him moving on with him, and obviously it didn't work out. Credence 208, I'm just glad I don't have to make the decision. Exactly. These are tough decisions. And guess what, Credence and everybody else that's listening, if you are watching, you're going to hate a decision that he makes. It's just going to happen. Doesn't matter who he chooses, you're going to hate it. And he's going to do something and you're going to hate it, because that's what fans do. We are fans. We are fanatics. We are people that want to dissect every single move that is made, and that's why Andrew Friedman's so good at it, because he doesn't listen to us. I mean, let's be honest. Let's see. In history, no longer. Let's see. Charlie 81, bring back Eric Gagne. Let's name all the other guys that we can possibly bring back. Bergman, dude, don't act like it's crazy to leave Jansen off the roster. Legitimately, he's terrible. Legitimately, that is crazy to leave him off the roster. I'm not trying to argue with you. I know you feel that way. Congratulations. He's going to be on the postseason roster. There's just no way around that. And you're going to have to accept it at something. But unfortunately, that's how it is. Affiliated Inc. Bomb Squad off Los Angeles tees now up. We got you, Greg. Well, yeah, I mean, thanks. Appreciate that. Underground Pixel. 25 home runs for Dodger captures this season. Yay or nay? Oh, don't do that to me, Underground Pixel. I am one away. The Dodger catchers have 24 home runs right now, and I'm watching every single Russell and Martin at bat, and every single Will Smith at bat, and every single Austin Barnes at bat, with my eyes wide open, being like, please, please, please let this be the one, because I got a $10,000 mythical money bet against John Ireland that the Dodger catchers will hit 25 home runs, and they have 24, and they've been sitting on 24 for like 2 weeks now. It's driving me crazy. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. Esco1310. So what is your solution if Jansen can't close in the postseason? My solution, and I think a lot of people agree with me this, is going with a guy like Joe Kelly or whoever is pitching best at that time, or whatever fits that narrative. They're going to put the best guys in the best position to succeed. So if they'll go with like an Adam Kolarek against a lefty to start off that inning, or they'll move over to like Gonsolin, or they'll move over to Pedro Baez, or they'll move over to Joe Kelly, or whoever it happens to be. They're going to make the right decisions in those situations, whether it's going to be whoever it's going to be. I think you're going to see more Joe Kelly in those situations, maybe Julio Urias. Maeda has had a couple chances at it now. I don't really trust Maeda in the ninth inning, so I don't think that's a good spot there. But I think you're going to see other guys that are going to have that chance. And if it's not Kenley Jansen, he's proving himself down the stretch here. And just watch. Kenley Jansen is going to come out in the next game on Friday against, who are they playing on Friday? Is it San Diego? Are they playing San Diego? I don't remember who they're playing right now. It's off the top of my head. I can't think about it. But whoever they're playing, he's going to come in, he's going to get a save, and he's going to have no hits, no runs, no walks. He's going to have 2 strikeouts. Watch. It's going to happen. Ignacio Telez on Facebook. From now on, in Friedman, I trust all the relievers he passed on proves he was right all along. Green has sucked. Kimbrel is injured. Well, Vasquez, we know what happened there. Exactly. Shane Green was the one guy that we were really like, oh, let's go get Shane Green. And he's been bad. He's been bad. Like, really bad. What's this one? This is a long one, so I'm going to read the whole thing here for you. Maybe never mind Sean, NMVM Sean. Dave Roberts is so loyal to Kenley, he's probably not going to put him in high leverage situations every time. But no matter what, you will see him in the postseason. Yes, that is all very true. Hello, Cassandra Gutierrez. Thanks for coming on. We just need Jansen to get hot in October. He can do it. Caustic 187. Hopefully, yes. Positivity. I like positivity. My throat is starting to go. Bob Bowman 66. It's ridiculous to think that Jansen won't be on the playoff roster. Get real. That's kind of what I'm saying. Chase Falk. Gavin Lux on postseason roster? Yes. I do think that Gavin Lux is going to be on the postseason roster. And at this point, I don't see who you would take off to put him on, especially with Alex Verdugo not being healthy and not being ready to go until the NLCS at the earliest. Then I don't see who can possibly take over for Gavin Lux. You're going to go, it's really easy to go through this very quickly. You're going to have 2 catchers, whether it's Will Smith or Russell Martin. And even if you do carry 3 catchers, which they have done in the past, they carried Rocky Gale last year, I believe, as a 3rd catcher in the postseason, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't remember which one it was, but they've carried 3 catchers in the NLDS before. I think Matt Beatty would be taken off and not Gavin Lux. I think Lux is going to be on this postseason roster. And it's going to be Smith and Martin, Muncy, Freeze, Bellinger, Kike, Seager, Taylor, Turner, Pollock, Peterson, and I'm missing a couple. Oh, yeah, Lux, Beatty. There you go. So, yes, I think that Gavin Lux will absolutely be on that roster. Ragnar02634179. Maeda is 5-5 and save situation in his career. I felt like he had lost one before, but hey, if you're right, then then maybe that would be a good spot. I just something about him just doesn't fit right for me in that situation. Just married 2012, the Rockies. I don't know what that means for the Rockies, but no Rockies. Oh, Robert sucks. How can we blow a 2-run lead? Unbelievable. I mean, 2-run lead. How many times have they come back from a 3-run lead or a 2-run lead? I mean, it happens all the time. It happens. And it wasn't against a bad team. The Rays are a good team. John Isles, remaining games, 3 hosting Colorado, 3 hosting Colorado, 3 in San Diego, 3 in San Francisco. Thank you for putting that out for me exactly because I couldn't remember. Yes, Colorado hosting, so you don't have to be in Coors Field, which is a great thing. Oh, that's what you're talking about with the Rockies. Thank you, Just Mary. Jesus 31-145. Bro, you're comparing closing with Rockies, then with the Astros. I think it's bad. I'm not sure what that. It's been a weird day for me today, so I'm sorry if I'm not catching what that meant. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Underground Pixel, could Kershaw establish himself as the greatest Dodger pitcher of all time with a World Series ring? I don't know if you can make him the greatest pitcher of all time because Sandy Koufax is the greatest Dodger pitcher of all time, and he has a couple rings and had a shortened career. Clayton Kershaw is the greatest regular season pitcher of all time. He needs the ring to be just validated and to say that he got that ring, and that's why he needs it so bad right now. I think that's why it's such a big situation for him. So he needs the ring. It's not so much that the ring will make him the best pitcher ever. Sandy Koufax is the best pitcher ever as a Dodger, so it just makes him that much better. He would need to win a couple more to get past that Sandy Koufax, and he's had chances. It's Joey 2 times. I appreciate your optimism, bro. You have to understand the Dodger fans' worries. Of course I do. I'm a fan too. We cheer hard still, but it's with reservation. Love our boys, but we have a rough road. Got to put up heavy runs. Totally agree with that. Totally understand. Not upset with when people get upset, and that's why I sit here every Wednesday when it comes to the Blue Review. And if you're on Instagram, my phone is dying. I have 10% left on the phone, so at some point, Instagram may just shut down because there's only 10% left on this phone. I don't know why it's going crazy like that. It usually lasts much longer. If you're on Instagram, don't be afraid. Go over to YouTube. Go over to the ESPN LA Periscope. I'm still going to be on for another 20 minutes. So if that just shuts off, go to Twitter. Go to ESPN Los Angeles. I'm on there. Or go to my own Twitter at @BergmanGreg in order to be able to still see the rest of the Blue Review. So thank you, and I'm sorry, Instagram, if that shuts down. It's Joey Tuna. How about 2 rings, Kirsch? 2 rings are in more of a conversation there. Now you're getting up there and jump on YouTube. Thank you, Dodger Rebel. But now, so when you're there, you're as more of a conversation. Sandy Koufax is always going to be the greatest Dodger pitcher. If he wins if Kershaw just goes crazy and wins the next 3-4, then you got to give it to him. But it needs to be right around there. That's because all the questions are from here. A lot of them are. No, there's a ton over here on Periscope too. I try and bounce around so that I'm not ignoring anybody. And I think I've actually ignored a couple, and I'm trying not to, so I'm sorry. Let's see. Just Mary 2012. Early exit for the Dodgers with Jensen. I'm sorry that you feel that way. It's not. El Cariza 1, probably an iPhone. It's an old iPhone. It's not actually my iPhone. It's one that I used to use. I don't even know. It might be like a 5S or something like that. So it's a really old iPhone, and usually it lasts throughout the entire hour, and I only have about, like 18% left, but it's just flying down right now, and I don't know why. Jesus 3145. Dude, the Dodgers finished 10-10 against AL teams. They are bad against teams, no question against AL teams, no question about it. They did. All those teams are not the Yankees. All those teams are not the Houston Astros. They're not the Minnesota Twins, the teams that you're actually going to see. They lost 2 of 3 to the Yankees and very well could have gotten swept. Granted. but it's also a much smaller park where they are, where their home run hitting abilities are much better, are much easier for them. They also they blast away at their home parks. Totally different. I still just believe that this team is the best team in all of baseball still. The Yankees have a lot of issues going on. I think the Astros are good, but they have issues too. Every team has issues, and especially in the bullpen. Only really the Yankees have a good bullpen. The Dodgers are not the only ones. What's the YouTube stream name? The YouTube stream name is... You just got to search Greg Bergman or Blue Review, because it's not there's not enough subscribers. I have 47 subscribers on the YouTube. I need 100 subscribers to be able to have it say youtube.com/Greg Bergman or youtube.com/Blue Review. I can't get it there until I'm at 100 subscribers. So if you want to subscribe there to make that better, great. If not, fine, whatever. David Ojeda. These losses hurt now because every win counts for home field if and when Dodgers make the World Series versus New York Yankees versus Houston. Yep. I've been saying it for a while. I want home field advantage. I think this is very, very important. It's very, very important to get home field advantage. I don't think it's going to happen, though. But with that said, better they get the kinks out now in September so they dominate in October, hopefully. Agreed with that, too. And that's the biggest thing, is that hopefully that's where it's going to be. They get these kinks out now. I know that's very hard to understand. I know that it's very difficult to actually believe that that's what's going to happen. We have to a little bit and believe. This team, they hit well with runners in scoring position. They hit well with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. They hit well with runners in scoring position, 2 outs and 2 strikes. They come back from games they should never come back from and win. They had 12 walkouts. They almost had a 13th tonight when they were down. They got it to 8-7 and had 2 runners on. They had the chances. It just didn't fall. Gavin Lux had a hit that was barely caught. That gets through, it's a whole different ball game. Lots of things can happen. They believe all the way through. Justin Turner hasn't been playing. There's a lot of things that are still happening that once they're ready, this can be a very good team. S. Neri, I feel like they won't get home field advantage even though it's what they need. I agree. They need home field advantage, and I agree with you that I don't think they're going to get it, and that's too bad. I would love for them to actually get it, but I don't think it's going to happen, and that's a little upsetting. Frank Talk LA, I'll subscribe. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Unless Minnesota or Oakland make it to the World Series, baseball is like karma. Can be a real B. Yeah, it absolutely can be. And if Minnesota and Oakland that means that they're getting past the Yankees and the Astros, and they are going to be in a dogfight, and they are going to be the best one. That they're going to be a very difficult team to get past, no matter what. That means if they're getting past those teams, you got to watch out for them. Let's see. Bro, I think Dodgers rake in Yankee Stadium. Are you kidding? Going to the right field, they're going to destroy that right field. It's going to be insane how often they hit home runs off of that, because anybody can. I think one of you, it's Joey 2 times. I think you can hit a home run. I don't even know what you look like. I don't know if you have any power in your swing either. But you know what? You can hit a home run in the right field at Yankee Stadium. Anybody can. Bro, I think Dodgers... Oh, it was Joey. Yeah, you're saying it. S. Neri, I feel like the Twins and the Athletics are sleeper teams in the AL. They very well could be. Everyone's focused on the Yankees and the Astros, just like in the NL, everyone is focusing on the Dodgers or the Braves or the Nationals. And a team can very easily... The Milwaukee or the Cubs could come out of that. Who knows? But I think I honestly just think the Dodgers are going to be it. I've already answered it, but I'll answer it for you really quickly. T-Coda 3, yes, Gavin Lux will be making the postseason roster. Just Mary 2012, we need a closer. I think this is where it gets really interesting. Needing a closer, needing a role, needing an 8th inning setup guy, needing a bridge guy from 6 to 7, needing these different roles. That's not how this Dodger teams work, and that's not how the Red Sox won last year in the World Series. It's not about having certain roles for certain guys. It's having the right guy in the right position at the right time. I sound like Sean McVay saying that. Very odd. Sorry about that. But having the guy best there to succeed. So if in the 7th inning, that's the best place for Joe Kelly, they will go with Joe Kelly in the 7th inning. If the 6th inning is the best place for Kenley Jansen, they probably won't go with him there, but you get my point. But Julio Urias comes in the 6th inning, that's where it's going to happen. If it's Kenta Maeda in the 8th, if it's Kenley Jansen in the 8th, it just depends on who is up, who pitches, if they pitch well against these certain guys, what the records say against that certain player, they're going to put those guys in the right position. It's not going to be I'm this, I am that, I am the 8th inning guy, I'm the 9th inning guy, I'm this. It's just not how it's going to be. And you're going to use more starting pitchers. You're going to use Stripling and Maeda and Rich Hill and Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May and Julio Urias, all starting pitchers. They're all supposed to be starting pitchers. They're going to be in the bullpen. Son of Surya, Red Sox just played lights out last year at World Series. Yep. I absolutely crushed Brawl's brother. Yeah, Joey 2 times. He does it twice. Can Joey 2 times pitch too? I don't know. I'm sure he can. If he crushes baseballs, he does that too. Cam Riddle on YouTube. And by the way, if you're on Instagram, I don't know how much time is left on my Instagram. Go to the youtube.com/ I don't know, you just have to look up Greg Bergman or Blue Review in the search bar. I'll come up. You just got to go there. So hopefully I don't go away too fast, but be careful on Instagram. Cam Riddle, my high school baseball stadium was bigger than Yankee Stadium. We hit bombs. Exactly. That's how small it is there. John Isles, bring back Kirk Gibson. Remaining games, we went through all that. Rael Barbone on YouTube. Justin Turner's got the second best beard in LA. I'll give you a hint. Who's number 1, LOL. He's talking about himself, but really, I think it's mine. It's not much of a beard. It's like, a thin beard, but I think that's the best beard in LA. I'm just saying, it's nice and looks nice, clean, looks good. Underground Pixel, I know the current Cardinals aren't the ones who took LA out before. I still don't want to face them. I hate seeing the Cardinals in the playoffs. The last time the Dodgers beat the Cardinals in the playoffs, I believe, was 2009. They've done it already before. And look, the Matt Adams teams and Adam Wainwright's and all those guys are not there anymore. It's a totally different team, and you're right, Underground Pixel. But there's something about them in the playoffs that just kind of creeps me out, man. I feel like they're going to lose, and I hate it, and I don't like that feeling, and it scares me to face them. Let's see, Anthony Keene on YouTube. Whoa, life's different on YouTube. LOL. Why is because it's got all the cool little things on there, right, Anthony? I don't know what we're over on Instagram, but yeah, you got the bar underneath you. You got the ESPN LA in the corner. It's not just me. Like, the angles are different. Everything's different. It is different on YouTube. It's funny. Kevin Meteora, may your road lead you to warm sands. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Edward Vento, I think we'd steamroll the Cardinals. I think so too, but that'd be crazy. Oh, Caustic 187. Yeah, man. Caustic. It's a totally different world over there. Credence. No quitters on the gram, bro. Ride together, die together. I love that. Stick around. I know there's less than 10%, so it's going to go away at some point. But if it goes down, don't be afraid to get over onto the YouTube. And look, hey, it's going still. I've got only about 15 minutes left, 13 minutes left. So there you go. JMed0617. Kenley lost it, man. Got to try Kelly in the 9th. I've been saying to try Kenley in the 9th for weeks. I'm not against Kenley in the 9th. And even with my tweet today being optimistic about how I think Kenley Jansen has become a better pitcher again. He's starting to figure himself out, have more velocity, more movement, using 3 different pitches. He's using the 4-seam fastball. He's using the slider more often. He's using and he's still using the cutter. By doing those things, and with the higher velocity, he's starting to get a little bit better. It's not quite there yet. Obviously, as we saw tonight against a good team in the Rays, I'm not going to deny that they are a 90-win team. You can't say that team is a bad team. So I know I tweeted out that how he's getting much better. That didn't mean that I think that he should be the closer still. It doesn't mean that I think that he should be closing on back-to-back days when the day before he had a 4-out save. 2 totally different things. So I do think that Joe Kelly needs to have a chance there. I need to see him in that role. It's starting to get a little bit late to actually see what he can do in the 9th inning, how he performs in the 9th inning. Those are important things. Guys that perform well in the 9th inning are not always the guys that you expect. John Isles, Dodgers versus Cardinals in 2019 regular season, home team 7-0. So they will have home field advantage, but yeah, they still lose in St. Louis, which is, God, I hate St. Louis. It's just ugh. I feel like small ball will work in handy for the Dodgers come postseason time. They play small ball. I know they hit a lot of home runs, but they hit doubles, they hit triples, they hit singles, they move guys base to base. It happened tonight in the 9th inning. They got 2 guys on and just got Edwin Rios. hit a ball, game, and that's hit a single, brought home Corey Seager, and it just station to station. They start doing that. That's why I love that this is much better. Jamie D0617, love listening to you on Mason Ireland show. Glad to follow and love the show. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. David Ojeda, maybe a different Cardinals team, but it's always the Cardinal way, and that scares me. Exactly. Edward Vento, joined late so I didn't hear. Who does Lux make it over in your opinion? You don't have to take anybody off to get Lux into the postseason roster, and I think I know you came in late, so I'll answer it for you. But there's not anybody to take his spot. So at second base, I mean, I'll do this really, really quickly. Smith, Martin, Muncy, Freese, Bellinger, Lux, Kike, Seager, Taylor, Turner, Peterson, Bellinger, Beatty, 13. That's all of them. You don't need any more because Alex Verdugo is hurt, so Alex Verdugo is not going to be on the postseason roster until at least the NLCS. I don't know who you're kicking off. Christopher Negron, not making the postseason roster. Jed Jerko, not making the postseason roster. Who else do you want? There's nobody else really to mention. And David Freese is already on there, so yeah. Did I miss Freese? If I miss Freese, he's definitely going to be on there, and that would take Beatty off. But I don't think I missed Freese. I thought I said Freese right away. If I missed it, I'm sorry. But yes, Freese would definitely be on that. Why Rams house behind you? Because I'm at the ESPN LA studio. So whatever it says in the ESPN LA studio is what it says behind me. Let's see. I got Anthony Keene. Cardinals are kryptonite for the Dodgers. I hope we avoid that team. Absolutely agree. I mean, I just want to avoid them. I hate them. Be careful, you might poke a Kamenetsky. I was on with the two Kamenetskys earlier, and actually I'm going to be on with Brian Kamenetsky on Friday, hosting for George Sedano. I'm going to do Mason and Ireland on Friday with Mason and Ireland, and then when Purgatory starts, they don't know about this yet, and they don't watch this, so they won't know. When Purgatory starts, I'm just going to come in here and sit in the studio with them for Purgatory, and it's going to be a 4-person Purgatory because I'm hosting with Brian Kamenetsky for Sedano. So that's going to be a very funny thing, and I think it's going to be interesting. Did I leave off Pollock? There's no way I left off Pollock. If I did, that's just nuts. Okay, I was assuming 13 pitchers. Edward Vento, no, it's going to be 12 pitchers, especially in NLDS when you have a shorter series when it's a 5-game series. So you're only going to go 3 pitchers because you're 3 starting pitchers. So you don't even need the 4th pitcher because in a 7th-game series, there's a possibility where you'd use a Game 4 starter opposed to switching up. But if you're in a Game 4 situation, you're going back to the top. You're going back to Walker Buehler. So that's why it's not going to work out in that way. Just Mary 2012, you are fabulous and will definitely join your chats on Wednesday. Thank you, Just Mary. Come here every single Wednesday. And actually, during the postseason, I'm going to be on every single night. That is the plan, to be on every single night. I'm actually going to the games, too. It's a whole new world. I'm going to be at the Dodger games, so I might be on a little bit later at that point. Let's see. It's Joey 2 times, bro. Y'all need me. I should have a show. All right. Make a show, dude. I'll come on. How about that? I will be a guest for you, which I don't know if you really want, but I'm going to do it anyway. Mikey 1419. Roberts and Friedman have made this Dodger team what it is, and they shouldn't be the ones to blame. If anything, it's the players who are accountable. Yeah, I mean, Roberts and Friedman. Andrew Friedman has completely revamped this team and made them into a absolute juggernaut to the point where they are just destroying people. Okay? They will absolutely. They are destroying people left and right, and they still have they're a top 5 farm system. Their farm system is insane. Oklahoma City is maybe better than the Miami Marlins. I mean, probably not, but they are that good. Look, Edwin Rios came up and just hits home runs. Matt Beatty, who never even heard of Matt Beatty before he came up, he's hitting home runs. It's just name after name after name. And that 2016 that 2016 draft, that gave you Tony Gonsolin, that gave you Dustin May, that gave you Will Smith. I'm missing one: Smith, May, Gonsolin, maybe Ruiz too, but I don't remember. That is a crazy 2016 draft. One last thing. Kudos to you for putting Endgame on your 3 movies of the decade list. You appreciate that. Yes, Endgame was a fantastic movie that brought together 10 years of movies, and everything was intertwined in my mind perfectly. It's a fantastic movie. Edward, let's see. LA fan plus Niners. Love your insight. Add a lot to all the shows you join. Thank you. Think DR changes his managing style in World Series. I think there's going to be tweaks. He's going to tweak the way that he managed in the World Series, where he's not going to do things like last year when you had Cody Bellinger and Max Muncy, who had the most home runs on your teams, sitting in game ones and game one and game two because they didn't want to put him up against a lefty. That's not happening this year. That's not going to be a thing. You're going to have the best lineups in and night out, and they're going to have Jock Peterson leading off if it's against a righty. Or they're going to have A.J. Pollock leading off if it's against a lefty. They're going to have the right guys in the lineup. It's going to be way, way better. Scrubs is awesome, the Bout Devi, which if you're not sure what that is, I chose Scrubs as one of my top 3 TV shows of the 21st century. LA fan plus Niners. He has seemed to overmanage at times and gets himself into trouble. Sure, but it's very difficult when they're in that situation. It's difficult to be able to say, like, oh, I have to pull you and bring in a different pitcher. It's a tough one. Oh, there goes my phone. So if you're on Instagram, I'm no longer on Instagram. It's shut down. My phone died. So told you it happened. It happened. Breed Kearns. Wow, forgot about the lefty sit. Yeah. Can you imagine if that happened this year? If they sat him because he was going up against a lefty? Zero chance. Totally different year this year. Nah, Greg, you're 100% right. OKC and Tulsa better than Miami Dolphins included. Well, everyone's better than the Dolphins. Let's be honest. Underground Pixel, is Moneyball in your top 10 movies list? Moneyball is a fantastic movie. It is in my top 10 movies for sports movies, not my top 10 movies of all time. I'm a simple man, all right? I like my comedies. I like a good comic book movie. I like some drama movies. I do like suspense movies, but for the most part, if it's my choice and I'm sitting at home, I'm watching a comedy or I'm watching a superhero movie. I love superhero movies. They're just fun. Like you get to be somewhere else. You get to be someone else. You imagine that you're swinging through New York if you're, Spider-Man. It's just a whole different thing. It's way, way more fun to enjoy that. All right, let's check it out over on Facebook. Dave Palais, what's up, Dave Palais? That's one of my favorite guys ever, by the way. El Diablo down in San Diego. Dave Palais, how important is Rich Hill's start next week against the Padres? Will he be on the postseason roster? All right, we talked about it a little bit, Dave, but he's not starting. Actually, he is coming out of the bullpen. So what's going to happen is he's pitching to live hitters, teammates tomorrow to see how he's feeling, how the leg's feeling, how he's getting through everything, and if he's okay, then the plan is for him to then pitch out of the bullpen on Tuesday. And if he can pitch out of the bullpen on Tuesday, then they'll kind of decide what they're going to do with him, whether it is giving him a random start or just pitching him strictly out of the bullpen. And imagine, though, if you have Rich Hill pitching out of the bullpen in the postseason when he was your best pitcher the last 2 postseasons and he's healthy, that's a great guy to have coming out of the bullpen. And a lefty, too. Right now, your only lefty relievers are Julio Urias and Adam Kolarek. And Kolarek is just there to get another lefty out. So, yeah. Breed Kearns, Credence 208 from Insta. They died together, I jumped ship. Yeah, exactly. See that? Thank you for doing that. Ryan Montez, my phone died. Yes, my phone did die. See, I told you it was going to happen. I just didn't know it. Janice Day Off, Joker looks like it's going to be awesome. That movie looks crazy good. But I only worry that they're just trying to win an Oscar with what they're doing. That's the only thing that kind of worries me a little bit. Michael Moline on Facebook says, Dodgers have more balance and depth than any other team in baseball. I agree. Will that work against front-loaded pitching staffs such as New York Yankees if LA Dodgers make it through to represent the NL? Yes, I do think absolutely that will work for their advantage because this is what this team does. And when they get to the postseason, I think you're going to see a lot more of it. I think they're going to be much more on top of this type of thing where they are being just sitting back on pitches, waiting for the right pitches, getting deep into counts, making sure that the starting pitcher is up in the 28, 30, 35 range for pitch counts in the first inning to make so they're getting into, so the pitch count just keeps climbing and climbing so they can get into your bullpen. And to take advantage of it is the big thing. Take advantage of getting deep into that starter's pitch count, and then go into the bullpen. You need to actually score runs, though, first. That's where it's important. Because if you get to 30 pitches, 35 pitches for a starting pitcher in that first inning, and you don't get a run across, they calm down in the next inning. They feel like they got out of it. And then they go on a run where they go through the next 2 to 5 innings and just go on a straight path to just nothing. And it's difficult. So you have to get to them that early on and often. Looks like I only got about 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left, so I'm only going to go to one more question from each place. I'm going to start over here on Facebook. Cassandra Gutierrez says, do you think the Dodgers will do good this postseason? I'm kind of scared if they lose. I'm going to say it. I've been saying it forever. I've been saying it all year. I think they win the World Series this year. If you think that that's a jinx, I'm sorry. I'm a producer in LA. I'm a guy from LA. I'm a Dodger fan. I can't jinx them. So I'm sorry. It's just not going to be me. But I do think that this team is good enough to win the World Series. And I'm going to be here with you guys every single game to make sure that we can discuss all the little crazy, little tiny maneuvers that should have would have happened, and what we're thinking. Over here on the ESPN LA Periscope, LA fan plus Niners in the NL. Who is the toughest matchup? And if World Series, Astros or Yankees, why? All right. So, in the NL, the toughest matchup to me is the Atlanta Braves. I think that the Braves last year were a year too early, and they showed it in the postseason against the Dodgers last year. They're better this year. They're more complete this year. Josh Donaldson has been fantastic. They have a very good pitching staff, and their bullpen is shaky just like every other bullpen. But they understand how to hit. They are a good team, and Ronald Acuna Jr. scares the hell out of me in the outfield and at the plate. So to see them again is going to be very, very difficult. Now, another team, though, before I get into the Astros Yankees, is the Washington Nationals. The Nationals have a three-headed monster as a pitching staff that is going to be difficult to do. They've gotten to Strasburg in the past. They've gotten to Patrick Corbin in the past. And Scherzer is a little bit more difficult, but I feel like they can get to him and take him deep into the pitch count like I was just talking about. So they scare me because that is a very, very good, strong pitching staff, but I think the Dodgers are just better than the Nationals, and the Nationals have one of those windows that is closing very, very quickly, and I think it's already going to be closed, and if they see the Dodgers, it will be shut down. And also, Scherzer will probably have to pitch in the wild card game, which means that you wouldn't see Scherzer very early in, probably till game 3, I would assume, in the postseason, so you won't have to see Scherzer as much, and you probably have to see Strasburg and Corbin twice, which they can hit both of those guys. And then picking one, Yankees or Astros. I want to see the Yankees. I don't think their pitching staff is definitely not as good as the Astros, and they do have a very good bullpen, but I think you can get to their pitching staff, especially now that, Severino's back, but let's see what he's gonna be this year. I want to see the Yankees, and also just to have the idea of this Yankees Dodgers number 1 market, number 2 market playing against each other would just be fantastic. I would love to see that, and but if it's the toughest matchup, I think the Astros would be the toughest matchup. That is a scary, scary matchup, and having the revenge would be great, but still, to see him again would be very difficult. John Isles says, how can it be a jinx if none of the Dodger players are watching this show? There you go. Well, because fans think that I jinx things. That's why. David, you said that last 2 years, haha, but yes, I do believe this is the best team of the last 2. This is the best team of the 3. No doubt about it. This is the best Dodger team of the 3. Third time's the charm. We cannot be the Bills of the MLB. I agree. Alcariza won. Game 3 would be Scherzer versus Kershaw then. Yeah, it definitely will be. And that would be a hell of a game. An absolute hell of a game. All right. I am out of time. I just want to say one more time to please, now is the time. It is time for postseason. We're right there. Go to Bleed Los. Bleed Los on Instagram. Bleed Los on Twitter. Get this Los Angeles versus the World hat. Get this butane shirt. Get a belly bomb shirt. Get a Los Angeles Sangre Azul hat that they have there. Get all their stuff. Now is the time to be wearing blue and to be wearing blue with pride. Now is the time. It's almost the postseason. Wear this stuff. Go to Bleed Los. Bleed Los on Instagram. Bleed Los on Twitter. This is where I get all my stuff. All of it. Not even kidding. I love this stuff. I wear it all the way around. If you see me on a weekend walking around in North Hollywood, you will see me wearing one of these shirts. It's just how it is. I love them. They're comfortable. They're the best. All right, so go do that, and then I will be back next week. Next week, possibly with a guest, possibly not. Not sure if it's going to happen, but it's probably going to be the last one before the postseason. So be with me next week on the Blue Review. I am Greg Bergman, at Bergman Greg on Instagram, at Bergman Greg on Twitter. Thank you very much for being here. And look at that. It's 11 o'clock, and I'm finally getting to go home. All right. I'm out of here. I will see you guys soon. See ya.